What up, YouTube Nation? What if I slapped you in the face? I am here to bring you an in-depth gaming review, in-depth movie review. I'm gonna be watching back this. This is an old video, and I'm gonna be like, why? Anyway, we are here to bring back the Lawns Sleeping series in-depth reviews, which is where we watch a movie, and eventually I'll do video games, and where we watch a movie, we judge it, mainly me and him, whatever movies we see, and we see what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it, overall rating, and tell you guys what you should do. If you should go see it in the movie theaters, if you should wait for it to go to DVD and you rent it, or you just never ever watch it, ever. Unless it was free. Like on Netflix! But, yeah, we are doing Age of Ultron, as you can see by the title, guys. So, to recap here, before any of you get any deeper into this is called in-depth reviews for a reason. We go deep into the movie, so spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the movie yet, do not watch this video. If you have seen it, then you can. But if you don't even care, just watch. With the hand thing today. It is. You've been warned. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to go away if you need to.
Go. 1, 2.
Okay, we're ready. So, basically the plot of the story, we pick up basically in a Russian forest near Strucker's base. William Strucker, I think is his name. Baron von Strucker. I don't know. It's William. Oh, I'm thinking of William Stryker from X-Men. It's Baron von Strucker, and he has I think Loki's staff.
Yeah.
Is it? And he also has a secret surprise for the Avengers. 2 new, and they say mutants. They weren't born with this power. They are mutants. Going under the X-Men thing, are we? Called Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. And probably his favorite guy in the film is Quicksilver. But we'll get more into that later. But basically the film starts out as the Avengers are in this winter forest, probably somewhere in Russia or something, and they're trying to infiltrate the base, and it looks really good. Like, it's like a dance, kind of the actions going on. It's really rehearsed, and it looks really good, actually. Like, it looks really good. Like that scene where Captain America's riding his bike and he flips it at those people.
I thought he crashed for a minute.
He did that on purpose. Well, he said it slipped.
Like, oops, I slipped. And then the thing with the language.
Oh! There was this scene, for people who haven't watched it, that are actually watching this for some reason, there was this funny scene where they're in the middle of the fight, and apparently Iron Man says some curse words, and from Captain America being from the 1940s, he says language, and then, they keep deeper into the fight, and like a couple minutes later, Iron Man's like, okay, well, but first, I still hung up on the fact that Captain America said language, and you don't really get the joke until it keeps popping up later on in the film, but we'll get more into that later on. We're taking this piece by piece, step by step. But eventually they do get in, and Iron Man gets in there, and Scarlet Witch, she has some type of mind control thing. She can mess with your mind, and she messes with his mind. It looks like it's a prediction of what might happen in Infinity War, the 3rd and 4th film for the Avengers, where they're in space. All of the Avengers are dead, and it looks like that scene of where I think it's Thanos was sitting at the end of Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looked like that, and, well, Captain America is still barely alive, and he basically blames Tony.
Yeah, for not saving her.
And, that's all that Scarlet Witch does. She doesn't control him away, but he's spooked by it. He's spooked. He knows that something's wrong. It's not like that she was messing with his mind. It was like opening up the future, showing what may happen in the future if he doesn't do something, which leads into him in the creation of Ultron. But basically after that, he gets the staff, they head back, and he wants to run some tests on it, and he tries to convince Bruce Banner, that When I look at him, I just think Mark. I'm still not used to saying Bruce Banner.
Yeah, I'm not
I can only say Hulk, though.
Yeah.
You can say Hulk, but that's more. He is the Hulk. He's the best Hulk I've seen ever on film. But someone a little tired.
That or
But he tries to convince him that they need to move on the Ultron program, because the staff has some unknown potential. And so they work with it, and while they're at a dinner party, Jarvis is able to actually bring Ultron to life. And the voice of it, who was the voice of it? I forget.
God.
But he did a really good job. It sounds somewhat like Robert Downey Jr.,
But it's not.
but it's not. And I think that's the thing. It's supposed to be a reflection of him. It's supposed to be. But for some reason, I see him as a likable villain. I actually do like him. And I feel like he has good intentions, but he just doesn't know what is right.
Yeah.
Is the thing. Because when you're human, this is the thing with all AI. Even though, they always, whenever you see an AI in a film, yes, something wrong's going to happen. But the thing is that it's kind of true, because with AI, as a quote from Rhodey from the first film, a probe or a machine will never be able to do what a man can think outside the box. And that's kind of true in a way. And that's why I think, in all these films, even though they exaggerate it, it's still the thing, because they see the direct thing to do. They do the shortest way possible. They don't think around it. But, while they're at a dinner party celebrating that they finally got the staff, Ultron shows up as one of the drones of one of the Iron Men, I think. What did he call it? What was the Iron Legion?
Yeah.
As one of the Iron Legion's robots from the previous fight.
And he looked freaky. Like, his mask was, pulling off. And
and apparently he destroyed Jarvis. Supposedly. We'll get more into that later.
Don't know.
But, yeah, and, they're in the middle of it. But what happens before that, what happens during the dinner party, Scarlett Johansson, I meant to say, Black Widow, Natasha, she's basically flirting with Bruce. And you can tell that it's no longer Hawkeye and Natasha. It's now...
I legitimately thought this movie was going to be a love story between him and her. I was like...
By the trailer, that's
I
why
almost stood up and said, "Get back together with them! Stop being a whore!"
But I will say, it did seem scripted. In the past, Scarlett Johansson, her character, Black Widow, has been very confined. No open to any emotion, really. But with him, she seemed very comfortable, is how it seemed. So, it seemed a little more real.
Yeah.
To me. And then the scene with the hammer. That was a good scene, actually. Especially when Tony Stark says, "I'll be right back," and he gets an arm in him. And then when him and Rhodey are like, are you pulling? And I'm pulling. That's like me and you right there.
They're like, "Are you pulling?" "No, well, pull." I got this iron hand, but it doesn't really make a difference.
Oh man, I like Don Cheadle or whatever his name is. I forget. Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle, that's his name. I like him as Rhodey more than Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
They need to go back. If they're going to be redoing all the Star Wars stuff and replacing some of the characters, they need to do that for the MCU.
Yeah.
Because that's needed. But there's just so many scenes with him in it, it's kind of hard. But, basically, in the scene, everyone's trying to do it, and Captain America actually gets it to move a little, believe it or not. So, and by what Thor said, you are worthy if you can pick it up. If you can pick it up, you are worthy.
Remember that. We'll come back to that later.
Yeah, we will. But yeah, while the dinner party... So after the dinner party... Well, actually, wait. Let's go a step back further a little bit to a smaller topic that becomes really big in the film later on. Hawkeye is getting hurt in battle. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch actually got into the fight. Surprised them. And he gets hurt. And there's some type of when they get back to Stark Tower, the Avenger Tower, there's some type of regeneration thing
that pretty much doubles the cells and make you heal like 3 times as fast.
And if there was such thing as that, and it seemed painless, he seemed no pain whatsoever. If there's something like that in real life,
it felt good, to be honest. You know, you got the big hole right
yeah, that's nice.
Well, would you rather have this big hole or no hole in your leg?
Or metal, or some type of metal thing in there. But if that was in real life,
that would be bad if they didn't pull it out and the skin just right over. Like, ting ting, you see that? Can't hurt me right there. Anywhere else you can.
I'm Iron Shin.
Some guys want to watch it do a parody or something.
I'm Iron Shin. But
alright.
So there's a machine that can regenerate cells. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say flesh, I'd say cells. Let's be scientific here.
Cells!
Cells!
Just get the lab coat
here's
on
a scientific note for you guys. Cells! It's cells! So what happens later,
after the dinner party.
I actually got a little lost there. I forget. Well, they inspect Jarvis.
Yeah.
Which seems destroyed, supposedly.
Dun-dun-dun.
But the next scene, what's the next scene about? I'm trying to remember, because that part I started getting a little boring, a little bit. I think that's when they go to the oil tanker where Claw, because they need...
Yes.
Because they think that Ultron needs vibranium. He's wanting to build himself a much stronger body. And because vibranium, hint to Black Panther movie, because vibranium, they need it, Ulysses Claw, hint to Black Panther movie. I want to see that. I do. I do. Not a lot of people do. No one knows about it, but if you watched Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Avengers show that happened a couple years ago, that was really good. Black Panther was awesome in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they go there, and apparently Ultron teams up with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and they get there first, and you see that Tony Stark's a little bit inside Ultron, because he says a phrase that Tony says, and I forget what the phrase is, but Claw notices it, and then Ultron gets really defensive and cuts off his arm.
Oh, it's because, you like Tony, one of Tony Stark's, like Iron Man or something, and it got him ticked off.
Yeah, that would actually make me pretty mad too. I don't know if to cut off an arm,
but
I'd be kind of mad. But then the Avengers get there, and there's an awesome fight where, well, one of the things cool in the fight is that Scarlet Witch messes with them, their heads. You see Captain America, and he's looking back to World War II ending.
Yeah.
And Thor, he's back on Asgard. And then you look at
Hulk?
No. Black Widow.
Black Widow.
That was creepy.
That was.
How did we forget that was the third person? It's like a horror film, her entire flashback.
I think all of them are horror movies.
Really, Captain America's a horror.
Wow.
This is how you rate it. PG for Captain America's. He is so sensitive. Like PG-13 for Thor's, and then R-rated for Black Widow. Oh my gosh. I don't even want to talk about it ever.
Moving on. And
what's funny is she tries to do it to Hawkeye. And what's funny is he senses that she's there, and he takes out an arrow, sticks his head, and he says a really good one-liner. He's like, I've done the whole mind control thing. I'm not a fan.
And then she's laying on the floor being tased with the...
And I feel Hawkeye gets a much larger role in this film, and I think he plays it well.
He does. I like the actor. I forgot his name.
Jeremy Clarkson.
There we go. Something like that.
I have all the time in the world. Trust me, I can look on this script. Yeah, and I can't remember who's the actor for Ultron, or for Quicksilver, or for Scarlet Witch.
I don't think Scarlet and Quicksilver have ever been
big stars.
Yeah, because I've never seen them in any Marvel movie or something.
But they're really good. They really are good. So after that, Hawkeye takes the whole team, which is basically completely... Oh, wait. didn't they go to the safe house before or after
After.
Well, what doesn't make sense there is that when they're there, wasn't Bruce Banner in the ship waiting, and that's when because when was he there at the ship? When did they meet up with them again? I forget.
After they were in the safe house, I think.
Yeah, but where did they go to? Where did they go to?
Up.
Where did they go to, though? After the safe house?
They went... Because I knew they were leaving there to go... they were going back to the...
Back to it. Because he had to take hold of the strong... Okay, that makes now sense. So they get to the safe house, which is actually... This was probably one of the biggest shockers in the entire movie for me.
And by the way, Thor was not there. He
was there when they got there, at least.
Yeah, he was.
But they go to a safe house, and it's just a country home, and you think it's empty, and it's Hawkeye. He has a wife. Well, he says girlfriend, so he's one of those
two
countries.
Kids,
and they have 2 kids, and you never thought that Hawkeye would be. And it makes you think. You remember again, the Avengers are human.
That's why I want to go back and see if he actually mentioned anything about a girlfriend or something.
Well, you gotta think. He was in 2 Marvel films. He was in Thor, which he had an extremely minor role. He was just, remember? No, that's the point. You don't even remember him. Remember when Thor's trying to pick up the hammer, he's not worthy, and he says, I got a clear shot, tell me when I should take it.
Oh, yeah.
He was barely in it, kind of like Clark Gregg. Any MCU character in there, you barely forget, because you were all about Thor.
Yeah. It's
mainly women.
I'm guilty. I'm kidding.
But yeah, and then he was in Avengers, but he didn't really get much of a role. Over half the film, he was brainwashed. So, I mean, there wasn't much. He didn't even talk much.
I'm kind of glad that he was in that big fight scene.
Yeah, at that end of the film, he would have been another minor character no one would have remembered. But I'm glad of his role in this film. Much better. Big comeback for him. Totally worked the way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really good. And they went to the safe house, and eventually, Thor, from the dreams, he feels that something's going wrong. And while the film was going on, I didn't really get why. But then you think about this for a moment. Remember Thor the Dark World at the end of the film where you figure out it wasn't Odin on the throne, it was Loki.
Yeah.
Then after I watched the film, I was thinking that. I was like, that's why. And it's a lead-in to Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Apparently. And he goes off, and basically...
I kind of forgot that Thor's dad, or the king or whatever, died.
No, he didn't. No. I think he put him in that Odin's Sleeper Son. I forget.
Yes, I think.
But he's not dead. I know for sure he's not dead. Now his wife's dead.
Yes,
that's who's died. That's who's dead. Huh. Dark World spoiler. There is such thing nowadays for a film that's 2 years old.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, Thor's a good world. Actually, I own it right there. It's right next to Transformers.
Oh.
Yeah, got $1 at a pawn shop. Focus.
We're going off topic again.
But, you start to see the team get a little, in a sense, separated. They're on, because...
They're either on Hawkeye's side or, Thor's side or Tony's side.
You mean Captain America or Tony's. That's what Civil War is about. That's what Civil War is going to be about. And you also start to see where it seems they're setting Hawkeye up for something big is going to happen to him.
Either death or something.
But we'll get more into that in the film. But more into the review. But you start to see Tony and Captain America clash heads a little. And...
Because they figure out this is a bad idea, Tony enforces it, they know what's going on.
And he still wants to go through with it.
Yeah, Thor tells him what's going on.
Oh, yeah, like right after the party, he grips him by the neck and puts him in the air.
No, that's
Thor.
Yeah, I know that's Thor.
But that happened after the dinner party.
Oh.
When they're trying to assess everything.
Yeah.
But then they go back to the facility, and they have another fight with him. But the one problem is, they left Bruce Banner alone in the... Actually, no, wait. No, they didn't go back. Wait a minute. No. I was originally right. What happened was after the building thing, they went to the safe house and then went to the storage thing. Yeah, we got that completely wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they left Bruce Banner because Scarlet Witch says, after that happened with Hawkeye, she says, I need to complete the mission. She looks right at the ship where Bruce Banner's watching.
Yeah.
Then the next scene is one of the best scenes of the MCU ever. The Hulkbuster Hulk fight. It's funny, it's action-packed, we'll get into it more, but let's not spoil anything, okay? You can say it from the point of after we talk about it, but don't spoil anything. So what happens is, it shows basically the first part of the fight. You see Hulk, and he's like really, like, not normally, he's pissed. He's like, he's on a rampage.
He's on a roll, baby.
He took that Viagra that morning.
You know we're going to get sued by that, right?
There's a lot of companies that do Viagra. Which one are we getting sued by? All of them. Sue us. Like we care. But yeah, he gets into the city and he...
Sue him! Alright,
he gets into the city and they figure out that Iron Man needs to go. So he activates... I don't know, what is it? It wasn't...
It's a name of a girl or
It
something.
was... No, that's closer to the end. It was some other project. It was, No, it was something they were talking about at the dinner party.
Yeah, I forgot.
I don't know what it was, but you guys know the name of it. I don't think it's Veronica. That's the leader of the film.
It is.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because Veronica I thought was the replacement for Jarvis. But, no?
Veronica's the one.
Okay, so Veronica basically is the Hulkbuster.
Yes.
And what's cool is that also she's a sentry, and she pops out additional armor just in case, something happens, and that's kind of... Which is smart.
Armor. Well...
But what happens in the fight, they're tussling around, but there's some funny parts, like, let me tell them. One of the funny parts is, when he's trying to get him to sleep, he's like, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. And Iron Man's like trying to get him to knock out, and it's so hilarious. And they keep fighting around, and then after he throws them down, like a giant building falls down on them, Hulk spits out the tooth, and then smiles, and he's like, and this is Tony Stark's expression. I'm sorry. And you see him. It's so funny. It's probably one of the best parts of the MCU, in my opinion. Best moment ever. The only reason to buy the movie.
Yeah, then and Tony's off screen, and then all you see is...
Yeah, Hulk gets back up, and finally, and I feel it's a homage to the original one, where Hulk punched Thor. Remember? I feel like that's a homage to it. And the Hulkbuster got up and just punched the Hulk. And they eventually get him back. He's stabilized. But you know what was funny is when they were coming back from the Russia mission, is he was listening to that jazz music or something?
Opera.
I
was sitting in my chair, I'm like, okay, if this is going to be an opera thing, I'm getting out of here.
You know what you were doing? You were this. This is what you were doing. But, yeah, and then he's playing that music, and they are completely toast. And then that's when they go, to the safe house. Yeah. That makes more sense.
Rewind to...
We are screwing up the entire movie.
We are.
Anyway, nothing really big happens from that point until they get to Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver City, where Ultron is setting up his command center, basically. Yeah. And then, extremely cool scene pops out. He's trying to make another body for himself. And it's using the Mind Stone from, and this is confirmed, the Mind Stone from Loki's staff as the controller, using the regeneration machine. But basically what happens is that in all the chaos, there's an awesome high-speed freeway chase that ensues between Captain America, Ultron, and Black Widow, and they get back.
Was Tony doing that?
I
think so.
No, Tony was back at base.
Yeah.
Remember? With Bruce.
Yeah, that or somebody was flying a...
Hawkeye.
Yeah, Hawkeye. And
they get the body back, and he eventually becomes Vision,
which we'll get more into that, but we're still focusing on that one scene. And basically, they get the body, and well, yeah, they come back. Now, the one thing though is they figure out, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver figure out that Ultron isn't the guy that they want to follow. He wants world domination and world destruction.
Pretty much, he used a whole bunch of Bible stuff like Noah's flood and stuff like that. Which I originally knew that world domination can really.
He's Ultron. He was one of the worst villains of all time. And worst in, I mean, a good way.
Bad.
Like, extremely bad.
Like, good actor. Great villain.
Character, very, very evil. That's how you describe him. Anyway.
Evil hates bad people, so...
But they figure out that's what's wrong, and, they join up with the Avengers, basically. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart right now.
Yeah, like...
another boring part in the movie, I'm sorry, but, they join up with them, and basically they help create Vision. Which, Vision, you are worthy. Vision, in my opinion, he's the voice of Jarvis. He's been the voice of Jarvis. And that's really him. That's really him who's acting it. And that was a really great character, Vision.
I liked him.
And what was funny about it, and this is so funny by Thor's reaction, he picks up the hammer like nothing, and Thor's like he's speechless.
So apparently there are two people who are worried.
Yeah. But yeah, eventually, they team up, the Avengers and them, and they have the giant battle in Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver's hometown. They try and evacuate people, and somehow, with a machine that Ultron created, the entire city lifts up in the air.
Yeah.
For miles into the sky, up to over the clouds. And there's some really funny parts, especially probably one of your favorite scenes of the film besides the Hulkbuster fight, which is where Quicksilver is trying to evacuate a police station. It's like, come on everyone, let's get out of here! And then he leaves and he comes back with the gun shooting up in the air, and what does he say? Get off your
asses and get out of here. Come on, that's it. I was about ready to go and leave. That was so great.
It was so good. But yeah, and a giant battle ensues, and when it's more in that enclosed space, when they're all in that dome section, it's really hard to follow. That's one of my main complaints for the film, is that one scene there. Because everything's like...
But I actually like it that it's so small.
Yeah, and I like the scenes where they're in the city. It's in the air and they're doing all this stuff. I think it's really cool. Yeah. And then, really funny part is when Nick Fury comes up in the air, and then Captain America cusses, and then Nick Fury's like, "Do you kiss your mother with that mouth?" And it's so funny there. But yeah, giant battle ensues, and in the midst of all this, while they're trying to get everyone evacuated, there's this one boy who's left there. Hawkeye tries to go protect them. Quicksilver sees he's not going to make it, and protects him, and then you see he's full of bullet wounds.
Yeah, because that was because of the drone or something.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
And then he fell over and he died. Like, you're going to kill that guy? He was so good. I loved him so much.
And then Scarlet is, of course,
oh my god,
paranoid.
She goes...
Listen, I've seen my girlfriend, man, but holy crap.
She basically deactivates every single drone
thing
next to her.
And then she goes into the
She like screams out. And, oh my... One thing I don't get is, how did you know he died? Is one thing I don't get, but, oh man, it's sad, because you came to like him.
Yeah, like the other funny part was...
It makes me think of that scene where Quicksilver from X-Men is just running around the walls, and he's like, he's just listening to music. Oh, that scene was really good. That Quicksilver was kind of funny, even though he wasn't a major character. I like that one, too.
Yeah.
I actually like him more a little... Well, I don't know. They're about tied, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But eventually, they get everyone off, and the city... And Iron Man does try and get it to stop. And I forget, how did they exactly get it to stop? I think they explode it, actually.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and one of the cool things is when Ultron is barely alive, the last Ultron drone is alive, Vision comes up to it, and then he tries to persuade him to stop, to see the error of his ways. I mean, Vision's a nice guy. Well, in this case, nice robot.
Nice thing.
Nice thing. But he tries to convince him that what he's doing is wrong. And he's seeing the error of his, that he needs to see the error of his ways, and he doesn't. And then you see a flash of light, which is amazing.
No, like they went at each other.
Yeah, they went well, it's like Ultron didn't really even fight. Remember, he was a broken down drone at that point.
Yeah.
And then you see this giant shine of golden light, and it's amazing, and he's
like,
just nothing.
Oh wait, like you missed the funny part of whenever, I think it's whenever Quicksilver died, and then then his sister ran into this building, and Hawkeye runs in there, and it says some motivation.
Oh man, I remember.
And then said like, I got an arrow.
That's before he died, and yeah, I'm pretty sure because she's freaking out. And what's funny is Hawkeye gives this motivation speech. We're in an island. We're in a city in the sky. I'm a guy with a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.
None of this makes sense.
And he's like speaking what all the viewers are thinking right there.
I like if they didn't add that.
Oh, he also didn't she come up into that section where Ultron was hiding and basically destroy his ultimate body?
I think so.
Yeah, but Vision saves Scarlet Witch as well, and eventually, the battle's over. Ultron's dead.
Yeah, Scarlet killed Ultron.
Yeah, well killed off the main guy.
Yeah.
The main, and then Vision. It's basically Mortal Kombat. She did all the heavy work. He finished it. But eventually, they're back at a new Avengers facility, and it seems they end on good terms, which is kind of weird because the next film that's coming out is, well, besides Ant-Man, is Civil War, which is where Tony Stark and Captain America lead their own Avengers. And
I don't know how that.
But I feel there was somewhat of a lead-in. Besides them on good terms, Captain America and Scarlet, they are foreseeing a new team to train. And I feel that's a little hint at what their Avengers are going to be.
Like who? Like it was Vision,
War Machine. Wait, it was War Machine, Scarlet Witch,
and then Vision.
There was 4. Oh, Falcon.
Falcon.
And I don't know if it was Vision.
I think it was.
Are you sure?
Yes, because he was there.
Are you sure?
Yes, I remember it.
Okay, so those 4, and then there's Scarlett Johansson's character.
But I may be wrong, but I thought I saw a guy with red and.
But it's surprising to see War Machine's there. Because
he popped out of nowhere, like, hey guys!
Well, no, it's because he's so good. He is really good friends with Tony.
Yeah.
He's been friends with him since he was a kid.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that. And I feel it's going to split the team up even further. But it's good. I think it's going to be really good to see in Civil War how that's going to turn out. That actually might be better than the first Avenger film.
Which the thing is like, Tony has a way different perspective on stuff than Cap does.
Tony is a revolutionary.
Yeah.
He is a playboy, but he still has what he thinks is right.
Yeah.
He's looking to the future to help mankind in his own way. Captain America's from a completely different time where technology wasn't as big of a thing really as much. And he's keeping deep in traditional... He's keeping his foot deep traditionally in the mud. He is stuck in his ways.
And Cap is like, nope, let's do it the right way or something.
But actually, the Captain America films are seeming like the secondary Avenger films now. The first was an origin story, but the second one, Winter Soldier, really opened my eyes. It was awesome.
It was like all leading into
it was my favorite non-Avengers film of the MCU movies.
I love Captain America.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
It was good. And I want to see the return of the Winter Soldier. Because he's not dead. He saved Captain America at the end of it, and he just kind of ran away, basically. And I think the story between Captain America and... So, wait, how many people have Scarlett Johansson basically flirted with? Was it Bruce Banner, Captain America, and Hawkeye? She's the tramp of the team.
Yeah. Which I am still trying to figure out who she is actually going. I don't know.
I feel like it's one of those things she's trying to keep the boys guessing.
Girls like a life fact. That's probably what girls do.
I feel that it's not real between Hawkeye because Hawkeye has a family. They're just really good friends. They've known each other. They're really with Captain America. That was probably just a phase. I feel it's real between her and Bruce Banner.
I actually, I didn't feel it, but I saw the connection.
Yeah, between them. And one last thing before we go. Did you think the film was better than the first?
I think it was to a point, but I honestly think they were, equal in some ways.
Well, the reason, in my opinion, this is where I see it. They are equal, but in this way, in my opinion. Avengers 2, as a film, Age of Ultron's better. But seeing the Avengers on screen was a big thing.
Yeah.
It was a big thing. That's why it still has bring more money in than Avengers for its opening day. Because, no one's ever seen it like that. And I feel like that type of anticipation for it, it gets more people liking it. So I feel they're equal in a way, but if you judge them as their films alone, Age of Ultron's better. If you judge it back when they were released, I guess you could say Avengers was better. Yeah. But I watched back Avengers, and I'm not too thrilled over it. There wasn't much action in it. Except for the last battle at the end of the film, there's not really much to it, no offense.
But I kind of like the story, though.
But to me, it felt a little all over the place. I don't know. The beginning wasn't bad at all. The beginning was good. But yeah, guys, this has been long. I like these type of things.
I keep looking up, and it's what? Is it getting dark or something yet? It's
but guys, comment, subscribe, do whatever the heck you want to make my channel. This is. I'll be back here for another in-depth review. What film do you think we're gonna see next? I'm thinking here. I think it's Jurassic World, maybe the next big film.
Yes, it's next month.
Either that. No, it's not May. It's next. It's either June or July. It's not May. No, it's not.
I think it is.
No, it's not. You're thinking of Tomorrowland. Dude, I have the dates written down. I know.
Geek right here. Go talk to him.
It's either going to be Terminator Genesis or Jurassic World. It's either one of those two. I think it's Jurassic World. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this, oh gosh.
Just keep going. I'm just curious. Holy crap, my girlfriend just sent me a big text. Okay, keep going.
But yeah, guys, tell us what your favorite part of the film was down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the film, what you thought of it, and if you're looking forward to seeing Ant-Man, which is coming out this summer, and any of the other MCU films. The one I'm most excited for next is Civil War. And as you guys know, Infinity War will be out in May of 2018, and the second part will be out in May of 2019. I like the back-to-back there. Because Avengers films, they take 3 years? Something like that to make? I thought you were looking up the date.
No, I was, but then I was like...
Just forget about It's not in May. I know for a fact. It might be the next one, but it's not in May for sure. But, you want to say anything before we go?
See you later.
But guys, we will see you at the next in-depth review. Goodbye. Peace.
Peace.